So thank you today for joining me on this webinar on how to live a FES life. So we'll be starting in just a few minutes. So let me ask you, what brought you along today? What brought you along to this webinar on this day? What is it that you're hoping to get out of it? For some people, it's manifestation. For some, it's curiosity. And curiosity is a good thing. But what would you really like to get out of this webinar? We're going to talk about a life that you love, being able to create something magical and amazing. We're going to go through a lot. I'm going to talk to you about who I am and what I do. For some people, it's how to live an FES life. And it's funny, and I'll share a little bit about why this webinar came about. My name is Helena Devani, and I am a magnetic mind coach. I'm certified by Chris Duncan, and he created Magnetic Mind, and I'm in his first 12 people he's ever certified. And so now I get to help people, and I'm here to show you how to live an FES life. So it was about 3 weeks ago. Chris Duncan was walking along the beach in the Gold Coast, Australia, and it's a beautiful beach for those of you who know the area, Kingscliff. And he was walking along, and it was a beautiful day, and it was a weekday, and he was there with his wife Harriet, and she is beautiful and amazing, and he loves her so much. And they were there with their dogs, and their dogs were playing ahead of them, and their business had just hit 5 million in annual turnover, and he was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And he's serving more people, and he's doing more, and it just kind of happened. Fuck yes. Fuck yes. And he remembers it so clearly, and he got a little bit emotional, and he thought, how can I help and serve others? And what I have now is such a dream. It's such a dream, and he just wants to talk about how to create not just one area of life, but the whole thing. Who's with me on that? Not just one area, but the whole thing. How to have a great marriage, how to have great health, live with purpose in the world, how to make great money, how to have it all. Write down me, M-E, me, if you also want to have it all. And so Chris turned to his wife Harriet and said, I want to put on a training, a webinar, and he didn't know if anyone was going to like it. So he tested it, and he put out a post, and over 150 people commented and said, F yes, I'd love to live an FES life. So he was like, wow, that is cool. So he put this webinar together, and he's had over 300 people register, and they hung out only 4 or 5 days ago. And it's easy, and it's so important to me to be sharing this with you today and how to live an FES life, because I think it's the riskiest investment we could ever make, is that we will sacrifice now for some future point. So I want to start off with a question. What would you do if money was no object? What would you do if money was no object? Like today, you had all the money. What would you decide to do tomorrow? What would you decide to do next week? What would you decide to do next month? What would you be doing? And please write it down. Please write it down. If money was no object, what would you be doing? Well, some people have said they would go travelling, create a business, travel extensively, volunteer, quit their job, and do what sparks joy in them. Well, what is it that sparks joy in you? Is it to create something that gives back to others, live your dreams, speak at events, help others become successful, travel and speak globally, volunteer? So here's what's interesting. Chris has spoken to over 135,000 people now in 13 countries, and he's asked that same question, and they typically respond with only one of two answers. and they say, I'm either going to look after my family or I'm going to travel and experience. These are the two main things. And then you ask, well, let's say you've done all the travel, and let's say your family is looked after as well. What do you do next? And I want you to write that down. You've done all the traveling, your family's looked after, you're looked after. What do you do next? And then this happens, what's happening to you right now, and what's happened to so many people when they come to this realization. And so many of you start writing down contribution-based virtuous goals. Some people say they would start an art school, help others. They would help others achieve freedom, help developing countries, spread their message, volunteer their services to the terminally ill. Write down a yes if you know that everyone decides to be of service or contribution to the world. Write down a yes. It's such a big and interesting thing for me to understand and for you to get straight away. If you're playing full out and you've just written that down, whatever you've written down, your answer is what you'd be doing with money being no option. That's what you're supposed to be doing with your life. And in any minute you're not doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing with your life, it's the riskiest decision that you'll ever make, because you'll never get this moment back. Does that make sense? It's the riskiest thing, and I noticed this really early, and I want to talk you through this, but I want you to start living that FES life now. And we set ourselves up with this place that we think that we have to wait. And so today, I want to talk you through how to live an FES life, which is a big secret. So let's get started. And my goal today is to show you the science and techniques you must understand to change your attraction point, and an exact week-by-week process guaranteed so that you can live your life now. And I want you to look at this word now. And now stands for no opportunity wasted. Now. And it's a process that Chris has been developing for 10 years. And I'm very grateful to share it with you. So I'm going to talk about some laws. So we all know the law of gravity, yes. We all know we've all flown in a plane, therefore gravity can exist, but it's actually superseded by life. That means in the plane, there's still gravity, but there's a law that's bigger than it. Does that make sense? So there's a law that's bigger than it. Does that make sense? So there's a law that's bigger. Well, this is the same when it comes to hard work, okay? So hard work's like gravity. It exists, it's always going to be there, but let me ask you this question. How many of you know someone who worked really, really, really hard, but didn't live a fuck yes life? Who knows that to be true? They worked hard, yeah. All of you know someone, right? So hard work is part of it, but it's not everything, true? It's superseded by something else. And so today is for you, for something else, if you want to know that something else. If you're aspirational and motivated and want to get everything out of life. And so I want to start by letting you know that I freaking appreciate you. Thank you for taking some time out to watch this webinar here today. Today I will give you a step-by-step plan, and I will not waste your time. And who likes that I'm getting right into this? Yeah, I won't waste your time. Time is the most important thing, and thank you for investing in it with me. And let's really invest in this today. Is that okay for me to ask? Be with me for 45 minutes, maybe an hour max. I want to make sure that you really, truly get this. And so you can really, truly understand this. And also, we have an amazing program that I'll talk you through, and some of you can say yes to it and some of you can say no. But I want to ask, how many of you would love to have somebody coach you, like actually be there to push you and coach you? And I find a lot of people have had a business coach, they've went to a course, they've had this, but somebody who's actually in your corner to actually push you to live a fuck yes life right now and not hold anything back, nothing else. How much would that be worth to you? So we have a small availability where we can talk about our Magnetic Mind program and things at the end of this as well. It's absolutely, absolutely huge. So if you've ever wondered why some people break through and others don't, or have you ever said, if I could only have more money, I could do this and I could do that, and then I could do this and then I could do that? Who's ever done this? If then I'll, when I get more of this, then I'll be able to. See, this is the problem. Your emotional vibration is the biggest challenge in really your identity. Check this out. If money equals freedom and abundance, but you live your life in not enough in scarcity, you will never be able to have the more money. Same with a relationship. If you live in a place where you're lonely and scared, but a relationship, connection, support, love, but you've got the identity of lonely and scared, you're out of vibrational alignment with that which you want. Who gets that? This is a crucial understanding, is what you want is how you feel. See, everything that you desire, think about any goal that you're after, there's always a way that you feel. You get a nice car, you'll feel proud. You get a bigger house, you'll feel abundant. It's always got a feeling, and this is what I really started to understand. And why I'm going to go through the 5-step method to manifest anything you desire, how to become limitless by using a neuroscience brain hack, and I'll also be taking you through the 13-step process you can follow to live a fuck yes life today. And I'm glad you all joined because you're not scared of the word fuck. So how many of you, and write down a fuck yes, if you'd love to be living a life right now that you just screamed, yes, like, yes, I've got it now. And write that down because I want you to be here with me, because you don't actually have to wait. There is no waiting, because I actually want to share, because of this system, Chris Duncan is a 2 times best-selling author, married the love of his life. He lives in paradise by the beach. He gets to do all sorts of things. He's spoken live to audiences of over 100,000 people. He's a multi-millionaire business owner. In fact, he's a first-generation millionaire, meaning he's the first one in his family. But more importantly, he lives a life of freedom and doing what matters most to him. And that's what's so important. Doing what matters most is speaking, is inspiring, is coaching. What matters most to Chris is time for himself. What matters most to him is reading and learning, and that's what he does every single day. The truth is, it wasn't always this way for him. He's most like you. He grew up in a middle-class house full of love, following society's rules, went to uni and got a good job. But he found himself stuck in society. Who's had this happen to them? When you're just stuck in this society where it's not really your dream. Who's with me in that? Who's ever had that happen? It's not just me, is it? Who's had that happen where you're in society, you're in this thing, and you're kind of wishing you weren't, because that's where I found myself and Chris found himself, wanting more. He always felt like he was chasing the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. Like he was a greyhound in a racetrack, just chasing a plastic bunny, and every time he'd catch it, it's like he wouldn't believe it, and then he'd go after the next one and the next one. And so then something really amazing happened to Chris. He found a mentor who told him how to create what he wanted. He had a $3 million business, and he showed him And it became so clear. And there's these 4 Fs: freedom, financial fulfillment, fitness, family. And he said to Chris, and Chris said this to me: you can have all of this. But Chris was so scared because he was used to it being one way in life. And Chris had all these rules, and I want to share some of these rules with you. He needed to have the right women to feel good. He needed to have millions of dollars to do this. He needed this and he needed that. And this mentor said the opposite. And this is what is so important. And something I'm going to share with you today is that you can create so much faster if you don't have to go through all these rules. And then everything that you want shows up. And so I'm going to tell you a quick story about monkeys, and I want to share it. There was these 5 monkeys in a cage. Scientists were watching them, and they put in a ladder and they opened a gate at the top, and they put food at the top. Now, of course, with food at the top and a ladder, the first monkey climbed up to get the food. Well, what the scientists did is they sprayed all the other monkeys with freezing cold water. Of course, when this happened, and this happened a few times, every time a monkey went to climb, all the other monkeys didn't want to get frozen with cold water. So they ran and they clawed and they bit and they yelled at the monkey and they told it off. So eventually what happened, and I want you to hear this, is very important, they could leave the gate open at the top with the ladder and no monkey would climb. So they replaced one monkey. They left the gate open at the top, they hid the ladder, they put some food at the top, they had this new monkey, and what's the first thing it did? It went to climb the ladder to get food. Now, they'd stopped spraying with cold water, but as soon as that monkey went, all the other monkeys went and grabbed at it and bit it and clawed it. You know, don't climb that ladder. That's not what we do. So eventually they replaced all the 5 monkeys with monkeys who had never been sprayed with the cold water. And guess what kept happening? All the monkeys, almost like revenge for when they first get beaten up, kept on tailing the monkey off, kept on clawing at it if it ever went to climb the ladder. Then those monkeys had children, and these monkeys carried on the same trait. Any monkey that went to climb the ladder, the other monkeys would run around, grab it, claw it. You know, we don't do that. And I find this fascinating because it wasn't in their genes. They never get sprayed with the cold water. It was just this big story. It was just this big lie, and we're not that different from these monkeys, are we? See, I think we've been given this big lie, and I think this lie has been built into us since preschool. It says if you get a good grade, then you should feel good. If you do this, then you'll feel good. If you sacrifice now, then you'll get something. I want to spend time with you, but I have to go to work. Do you guys get this? It's like this constant sacrifice now, and at some future point, we're going to have enjoyment. Even this concept of retirement. Work this long, and then you're going to retire. It's like we have to sacrifice the most important things, the most important parts of our day. Who's with me right now? Who's hearing this? It's like this story that's made up that says, no, you've got to sacrifice, you've got to sacrifice, you've got to sacrifice. It's like an unwritten rule, isn't it? That says we've got to sacrifice for something else. You've got to make millions to do this. You've got to do something great. You've got to have lots of people follow you on Instagram or be famous or be in a good movie. You've got to do all these things. What happens is the lie isn't actually working out. People like Robin Williams arrive at the top of that lie going, wow, I did all these things, it made people happy, shouldn't I be happy? And then they go there and they realise they took themselves there. Write this down. Wherever you go, there you are. And so wherever you go, there you are. And so what happens is because of this lie, we are this greyhound on this track, just chasing pieces of plastic, and we miss it. We freaking miss it, and that's the big thing. So Chris started straight away. He had this big vision. He wanted a business that made 100 grand. He wanted to find his partner in crime as he was single back then. He wanted a body he was proud of, and he positively wanted to change the world. And honestly, results were slow because he was battling himself. What he thought was that he had to have those things in order to feel good. Does that make sense? There were things he had to do in order to feel good. So he's battling himself. Results came, but it was a war. Like, he was literally fighting himself. And what kept happening is that he kept on thinking there was something wrong with him. So he went and he did NLP twice and get certified twice. He did hypnosis, success strategies, life coaching, everything that Tony Robbins put out, Money and You, Matrix Energetics, Manifesting All Possibilities, EFT, you name it, he did it, and he kept on thinking there has to be something wrong with me, because he kept on doing things but he still wasn't happy and didn't have what he wanted. He felt unfulfilled and he was going and not getting, going and not getting. Write down a yes if you resonate with this. And that this is actually landing, because to Chris, this is what actually kept on happening and never got what he wanted. And I'm going to share the truth and write down a yes if you get that. And so this is what really changed his life, is the fastest point from A to B is to have someone where you want to be and have them help you. And so this is what he did. He went all in with this coach. He spent $100,000 with this coach to work with him full time for a year, and he worked on himself every single day. And here's the first thing he realised, that all his beliefs were unconscious. What does the word unconscious mean? It means non-conscious. It means you don't know them. So that means all your beliefs, all the things that are creating your reality is actually sitting in the background and you're not conscious of it. And so because you're not conscious of it, you can't actually work on yourself. This means that reading a personal development book doesn't actually work, because your beliefs are unconscious. You can't see. You're like the fish swimming in water. You can't see it. And so by having a coach to point this and point out that, by the way, if you don't have a coach, you've got to have one. You've got to have someone. I have 2 right now, and Chris has 3. So Chris realised all things were created twice. Chris realised this structural tension, which is the missing piece. He realised we all seek the path of least resistance, and this is where procrastination comes from. This is where putting stuff off, this is where fear, this is where everything comes from that stops us achieving, is that we take the path of least resistance. And I want to talk to you about this, and I want you to write this down. And today I'm going to help you find your number 1 sabotage pattern that's stopping you achieving what you want. Once Chris found his sabotage pattern, he stopped reinforcing it. He took the right action and he was able to manifest and create. And so Chris decided, and I want you to make this decision, he had to create internal success first. So he asked himself, what are the laws in nature? And he looked down and he saw this tree and he thought, wow, look at the tree. That tree has all the potential to build a forest. So then he thought, well, that tree was actually created by a seed. Well, he thought, if he looks at that seed, he wouldn't see anything in that seed that would prove to him that it was going to create a forest, but the seed just knew. It was created in the invisible first. There's no blueprint there that you can see. There's so much instruction, so many things going on, yet that seed knows everything. How to get the right nutrients out of the ground, how to turn itself into a strong tree, how to turn itself into a forest. Make sense? For generations, and that's the same with us, is that we create internally first. The problem is most of us don't understand how to use this mechanism and how to create it internally first. Then he's sitting there in this beautiful lake in the south of New Zealand, and he pulled himself together and he knew he needed these 5 things. And I'm going to go through these with you today. Number 1, write these down so that you own them. You must have a contribution-based vision, meaning you must have a vision about how you're going to serve others. You'll make the money, you're going to travel the world, you're going to look after your family, but you must start living in the vision of how you're going to serve the world. Number 2, you must have an aligned mind and be living in the emotion of the end result. You must be living and breathing and being the person that's in your future. Number 3, you must understand structural tension. You must understand how to create the path of least resistance to be your goals. Question: what would it be like if you could set the tension structure up so that what was the easiest thing to do was to take the action that got your result? Most of us have the tension set up in our life, but the easier thing to do is to eat the wrong food or sit at home and watch Netflix and not do what we're supposed to do with the tension set up wrong. Number 4, you must have the right morning meditation and visualization. You must start the morning in the way you're going to continue, and lastly, you got to get a coach. You have to get a coach. So I just want to make sure you write these 5 things down. You must have a coach. You cannot see your own blind spots. That's why we call it a blind spot. You can't see where you need to work, and most importantly, you lie to yourself, won't you? You lie to yourself, you will say that you're doing it, but you can't lie to a coach. So Chris built a $4.5 million company. He got in a movie with Tony Robbins, the Dalai Lama. He was in this great movie and wrote these amazing books. He married the love of his life. He moved to the Gold Coast, and he loves every single day, and he spends it inspiring and helping others. And it became like this because of what I am teaching you today. Now, through all of this, he met a billionaire. Now, this self-made billionaire invited Chris to speak with all of his friends. He said, Chris, it's all vibration, thinking, and manifestation. He looked Chris right in the eye and goes, Chris, I've never seen anyone create this life and business and build it to this $5 million company the way you have. I've never seen it happen. You have to teach what you know. You have to. No one's talking about structural tension. No one's talking about vibration. No one's understanding this. So here's what you've got to get. You must be in your future feeling now. And I want you to own this. You've got to stop thinking that something you've got to do is going to create some change. Does that make sense? There is nothing that will change you to the amount that will make you feel abundant today. The amount that will make you feel happy today, the amount that you can feel joy and love today, that is your limit. Does that make sense? I want to ask you a question. If you were to look back over the last 5 months, 6 months of your life, how much did you max out those feelings? Are you like going, fuck, yes, every single day? Going, I love my life. This is epic. I'm so in love. I feel fit. I feel healthy. I feel this. I feel so fucking good. Or are you still in this old paradigm going, oh, well, when I have more money, blah, 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 blah. When I have the right person, or when I can travel more, when I can do this, when I can quit my job, when I'm, or are you still in that place? And I don't even need you to write it down, because I know the answer. We've been programmed our whole life to sacrifice now, and that something was going to show up. External validation was going to show up, and it was going to change us like magic. Oh, I made £1 million. Now I'm going to be happy. No, you're not. You're just going to have more money in your bank account. Trust me. And it's so interesting is that we all have the same opportunity right now to live the best and biggest and most fully expressed fuck yes versions of ourselves right now. We don't have to wait for these things to show up. Guess what? I promise you, they're going to happen. They're going to happen, like trust it. It's going to happen. You are the seed. Plant yourself and you're going to grow into millions and have the nice cars, have the great relationship. It's going to happen, but you're missing the journey. Most people I see are speeding and moving on a fast speeding train, and their life outside is just a blur. Oh, there's the kids. The kids have grown up now. And all they're doing is speeding to the next train stop, the next train stop, the next train stop, and the last train stop is death. And their whole life was just running to the next thing, and they missed the whole journey. And that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm so excited to share this with you. Who's got something out of this presentation already? Because we're going to get into the how-to now. Are you enjoying this today? Good. Is it a wake-up call of what you needed to hear? Because to me, this is just so important to understand. You're going to magically manifest all of it that you want when you get into this feeling and identity now. This statement is the one statement that changed everything for Chris. I'm truly satisfied with everything that I have now, and I want more of it. I am satisfied with the amount of love I have now, and I want more of it. I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied. If this was all I had, I'd be good, but I want to grow it and I want to expand it. We must let go of this old paradigm. When Chris did this, he made $5 million in 3 years, got married to the love of his life, moved into this beautiful house, and is a 5-minute walk away from one of the best beaches in the whole world. Every day he serves, he's in his purpose, he's sharing, he's writing books, he's doing it, and everyone thinks, oh yeah, that's because you've got the money. And the truth is, he couldn't care how much money is in his bank account because he already has it. He already has it. He already has the answer. It's right here. It's already him. And that's the big secret, that now is the feeling. Does that make sense? Give me an F yes if you're getting this. There is literally no reason to wait. There is no reason to wait. In fact, if you try to wait for it, it will never, ever, ever, ever show up. You have to create it now. And most of us lie about it and say, I do feel good, but I'll still feel better with $1 million. Or I do feel good, but I'll feel better when I have the relationship. Oh, but it's this and it's that. Or I'll feel good when I don't have my job anymore. You won't, because you're spending your life conditioning yourself this way. Imagine spending 30 years conditioning yourself for it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not suddenly going to happen when someone shows up in your life and now you're in a relationship and suddenly I'm enough. No, there'll be a short honeymoon period, and guess what? The old version of you will show up, and you will then go, this relationship isn't enough, and go on to the next one and the next one and the next one, and you'll do it everywhere. Change starts now. It happens here. That is exactly why we spend 13 weeks with people to get you in the now, to create the seed of what's going to grow. At the moment, what you're planting out there is not enough. You're about to grow a forest of it's not enough. Who's getting that? Who's getting that right now? So Chris created this full program with neuroscience and epigenetics, and he wanted to prove it. So he went and studied brain plasticity, and he had a look at it all. To understand how the brain changes, and the thing is, you can shift and change, and if you don't use something, you're going to lose it. So if you don't use your anxiety, if you don't use your scarcity, so if you don't use it, you will lose it. So what we must do is stop using all these things that don't serve us, and we must step into who we're being now. It doesn't show up until you show up. If you want to become it, to be then, you must become it. Everything happens now. It's who you are. All the results in your life are a direct reflection of your internal state. And that's the truth. The reflection of how you feel inside is staring you in the face. So here is how a brain changes. this is a close-up view of how the brain changes. And I want you to see that this is an electrical impulse, and I'm going to zoom on in it in a minute. But this is how quickly your brain actually manifests and shifts. This is an electrical chemical brain right here. Here's 2 neurons. This is a close-up of a person learning piano, and they're about to get it. And they're about to get it. So over here to your left, you're going to see things changing, and over here to the right, there we go, it's connected. And with you seeing this connecting and changing, this is massive. So they're learning how to play the piano, and then it actually connects up like that. So it actually connects up like that. You'll see the neurons all connecting together like that in this area. And this is literally what's happening inside of your brain right now. As you're learning as you're learning, your brain is actually recoding and rewiring. Who thinks that? That's pretty incredible, by the way. Look at that, connecting and rewiring. For me, that's absolutely huge. It is so awesome, right? And so this is what you've got to understand, is that once you realise your brain can actually change, you've got to stop being the old you. You've got to stop being the old you. You've got to stop that person right now. Let me ask you a question. Who's ready for version 2.0 of you? If you are, write down number 2. Who's ready to shift into the new version of you? Say, thank you so much, old me, because you got me to here, but now I'm ready to become someone new. I'm ready to live in abundance. I'm ready to feel successful. I'm ready to have all these things now, because you got to do that. You're conditioning and you're holding yourself to this new identity. You cannot create from the old way. Your natural conflicts will stop you. The old version of you is proven and safe, and so it's going to hold you back. Just like the family of monkeys, it's going to pull you back. Your future is unsafe, it's unproven. And so we want to do some work. Who's ready to do some work? I want you to find your sabotage pattern today. See, if you're trying to manifest and create placed off of a feeling, if you're trying to create placed off of a place of feeling incomplete, where the heck is the power? Now let me explain. If you're saying I'm not abundant, and if I want to make this money, then I'm going to be abundant, where is the power? Is it inside of you, or is it in the external? It's in the external. I feel lonely, and if I have a relationship, then I'm going to feel great. Where's the power? It's external. I'm stuck in my job. When I'm out of my job, then I'll feel great. Where's the power? It's external. You do not have a true goal unless you're already living the feeling. See, if you're in a job right now, stop trying to get out of the job and find ways to love your job. If you're single right now, stop trying to get out of being single and find ways to fall in love with yourself. If you don't have enough money, find ways to make yourself feel more abundant right now. That's the key. The key is to feel it now so that you teach yourself to be in emotional alignment with the way that you're being. So we're going to do some work, okay? So what is your sabotage pattern? The question I have for you is, and I want you to write it down, what is your future goal? What is your end point? What is your point B? Is it to be a speaker, get your company up and running, have a successful health and wellness business, speaking, assist people to de-stress, make a women's retreat? What is your end point? What is your point B? So write that down. Cool. So how would it feel to be in that reality now? How would that actually feel to be in that reality? And I want you to write that down. Would it feel amazing? Would it feel joy, successful? Would you feel content? Would you feel like an F yes life? So write down, how would it feel to be in that reality now? All right, next question. All right, compared to that, what is your reality now? So compared to that, what is your reality now? And write that down. What is your reality compared to that now? Cool. So how does it feel in life right now? Compared to where you want to be, and just be real and write it down. So we're going to do a little closed eye exercise to get the answer to the third question. And it takes about a minute. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into your future goal. So you need to put your phones down, your pens down, just be ready to do a closed eye quick exercise. Right, so put your pens down and be with me right now. So I want you to relax and I want you to close your eyes and step into your future self now. Into your future goal right now. And as you step into it, how does it feel to be this person? What's it like being this person? Just feel that. And now from here, doesn't it feel good, by the way? Now from here, I want you to turn around in time and space and just keep your eyes closed and look back to your current reality. What was the obvious next step you had to take? If you go back, think back to that current reality, what was the next step that person had to take? When you've got the answer, open your eyes and write it down. What was the obvious next step that old version of you had to take? When you've got it, open your eyes and write it down. What was the obvious next step you had to take? For some people, it's to get their website up, quit their job, let go of questioning why it wasn't happening, train their body for more endurance, take action, let go of fear. So if that's the correct and obvious action, let me ask you, when you look at that action, have you known that that's the action you needed to take for a while? Have you seen that and went, wow, I knew I needed to do that? Or is that something you've needed to know for a while? Or is this something that you've never seen before? In my experience, most people know the action that they need to take, right? You kind of knew. You've known for a long time. So most of us know the action first off. And first off, I want to appreciate that we actually know the action, right? We know it. True? So let's really dig deep into why you haven't taken that action. So my first question is, what are the reservations or stories that you tell yourself about that action? Write it down. Like, what if I fail? Can I really do it? What if I quit my job and it doesn't work out? Write down the reservations or stories that you have about taking the next step. So number 2, what are your judgments of yourself and others when it comes to taking this step? It could be, for example, I don't think I'm able to lead, fear of success, I'm not good at this, the world doesn't like this. So how do you make decisions about what's going to happen? Write that down. Next question, what are your inner conflicts? So how are you conflicted about this next step? It could be, for example, so part of me wants to do this and part of me just says, screw it, life is good enough, I've got a job. Part of me wants to go make it happen. Part of me wants to stay safe. So start off by saying, part of me wants this and part of me wants that. Part of me knows I'm good. Part of me completely doubts. Part of me thinks it won't work. Part of me thinks it does. So write down your inner conflicts. So I just want you to go with these 3 questions. What are your reservations? What are your judgments? And what are your inner conflicts? And write them down. Because the next question is going to help you and show you how you sabotage yourself massively. Cool. Is everyone done writing? So here's what happens, and we'll go back a step. So we've got this goal, and we've got our current reality, and we've got our obvious action. But then we have all this stuff, conflicts, judgments, and reservations about taking the next step, about taking that action. So here's the multi-million fuck yes pound question. How do you resolve the tension? So the tension is, you've got this action to take, but you've got all this stuff about taking the action. So instead of taking the action, what do? Some of you freeze and do nothing. Some of you go to read more books. Some of you feel like there's something wrong with you and you need to go seek out a healer or a guru. Some of you jump from next to next to next. Some of you talk and talk and talk about it. What do? How do you resolve this tension? There's a thing you need to do, but you've got all this stuff around it. What do you do instead of doing it? Write it down. Some people overplan instead of actually taking action. Some people procrastinate. Some people read more books, learn more, and tell yourself you'll do it another day. Thing is, if you keep reading books, your identity is that you don't know enough. If you keep searching advice, your identity is that you don't know enough. Every single one of those is the sabotage pattern that is holding you still. So how do you resolve the tension? And this is the common thing, and I'll tell you Chrissy's. He starts so many different things and so many different little things. He didn't actually focus on one thing. He had so many balls in the air. He always thought he was broken, and he would always try to go and heal himself and all these other things instead of just doing the thing that he was meant to do that would lead him to the life that he wants to create. Write down a yes or an F yes if you're getting something out of this, because that is the truth of what you need to move through. So here's the patterns of what is sitting behind every single thing you've just said and written down. The first big pattern that stops us is we're in a cycle of being unworthy. So instead of taking the action that leads us to success, we take action of someone who's in alignment with I'm unworthy. I'm unworthy, so I'll eat chocolate. I am unworthy, so I'll not do that. The next one is I am not good enough. So I'll read books, I need healing, I need all these other things. The next one is I don't belong. So I'm not going to do that because people are going to judge me. So instead, I'm just going to hang out with my friends and family because I'm so worried about not belonging. The next pattern is I am insignificant or I'm invisible. So I can't possibly be seen to be big and be powerless because my sabotage pattern is I'm invisible. The next one is I don't have the capacity, so I'm not smart enough, and that's going to overwhelm me. It's too much. I can't do it all, so instead I'm going to shrink, I'm going to freeze, I'm going to do other things. And the last one is I need to be perfect. It needs to be perfect. It's not right. I need to plan it. I can't make a mistake. Now, we all have one or two core patterns that are basically keeping us small and keeping us held in a certain place. And these are them. And the truth is that people on this call go, holy crap, this is good information. I need to know more about this. And then there's people who are in the I'm not good enough how do I heal these? Others are going, oh God, you're literally inside your patterns, and here's the truth. And the truth is, you must step forward into who you're being. By the way, is it good to see those things? You must step forward and you must get into your future self. Now, you must have a true goal, and the only way you can have a true goal is when you're in the feeling now, not just trying to resolve a way that you feel incomplete, because every single one of those ways that I just showed you is a way you feel incomplete. So I really want to show you either the action is there for you because you're doing the right action, because it's your true goal, or you're doing it because of a way that you feel incomplete. And this is absolutely huge, huge. And when you truly understand it and realize that your goal is to get into the feeling of your end result now, stay in that, act from that, and have someone call you on your stuff so that you're living your FES life now, that's when you get it. Does that make sense? You must be in it now. Stop thinking you're broken. You're not broken. Stop thinking you don't know enough. You do. Stop thinking it needs to be perfect. It doesn't. Stop trying to please people because you grew up with it, and create a new life, a new group. Stop feeling like you have to be insignificant. You don't. There's a story of elephants. When an elephant is small, it can be tied with a little stake in the ground, a little rope, and you can hold this little elephant by this little stake, and it will pull and pull and pull and pull. And when it's a small elephant, a baby, it can't pull away. So it pulls this little rope, this little stake, and it can't get away. So it gives up. So it grows up and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But guess what? It always keeps the same belief that it can't pull this little stake out the ground. So you see this huge, amazing, big elephant, huge, powerful, and you could tie it up with a little stake and a little piece of rope and hold it in one spot. See, the point is, what held you back in the past does not belong in your future. What stopped you when you were 4 years old, 7 years old, 16 years old, 20 years old, whatever stopped you in the past, maybe you weren't strong enough then, maybe it was true then, but what the heck does that have to do with now? You're strong now, you're an adult now, we've got to drop what is being held by things that just stopped us in the past. We need to put that down and step into our true, powerful, authentic self and authentic life now. Who's with me on that? It is so crucial for you to understand. It is so crucial. So here's the mistakes we make. We try to avoid failure. We take advice from broke people. We think that something external will make an internal difference. Here's the first thing you must know when you work with me. I'll get you clear on what you really want and stop you focusing on what you don't want. I'll get you to stop being stuck in a limiting pattern. I'll have you live for you first, your family second, because we need an overflowing cup so that you're the example. I'll make sure that you actually have shifted core beliefs. I'll stop you thinking, hey, where's the proof of my success in my past? I'll always move you out of your past and into the future, because the truth is your friends are holding you small. It's time for a new group of friends. The truth is that you must get an emotional alignment, and it doesn't happen in a day, and it doesn't happen in a weekend. It doesn't happen by reading a book. It happens by having a daily practice to get in the right emotion of what you want. You can't be wanting to be rich with money and have problems with people who are flashy and rich. It doesn't work. Your brain doesn't know that flashy rich people are dickheads or flashy rich people are awesome. You must get in the right emotional alignment. And you must have the right mentors who know exactly where you are. So the truth is 64% of billionaires are actually self-made. So I don't care where you are in life, they're just like us. And not just billionaires. J.K. Rowling, an amazing woman. Single mum, didn't have money, created it. Mark Cuban, billionaire, created it himself. Albert Einstein, hey, not a billionaire, but made a massive difference in the world and created it himself. Jim Carrey, another amazing guy. Steven Spielberg, another amazing guy. Oprah Winfrey, you know, these people created it themselves. So who here needs to be self-made? Write down yes if you're ready to be self-made and create your self-made life. These people created it now. They didn't wait. Jay-Z, another person who created it himself. The truth is, once you set this up in the right way, it only takes 30 minutes a day. Some of you might say, I have a problem sticking to things. I know. That's exactly why you need this program. You'll stick to things that you'll need to stick to. And so the truth is, you must make up your mind about what it is you want. Your past is going to limit you. Your past is full of employee mentors, bad money mindsets, limitations, and the truth is, your past is just safer. So why don't we change? Your unconscious brain is conflicted towards your conscious brain, and that's the problem. Your natural conflicts will stop you. Your unconscious brain wants safety. It wants to stay safe. It wants to stay exactly the same as your parents. It doesn't want to change no matter how hard the past has been. It wants to put the past on the future. That's the number one problem. It will try to sabotage anything that's not in the future. That is the problem. The internal safety mechanisms, the same safety mechanism that when as a child, you touch a hot stove or heater for the first time, you never hit it again. That same safety mechanism is the same safety mechanism as the elephant who was tied up to the little pole with the little string when it was small and learned it couldn't do anything more. It's that same safety mechanism that sees a woman go to an abusive relationship after abusive relationship after abusive relationship, and it's illogical, but that's what's been survived. It's the same thing that's been survived, always broke, always broke, always broke, always broke, because that's what's been survived. It's safe. And this is what causes a conflict, because your unconscious wants safety, but your conscious wants to survive. And that conflict is the number one reason why you don't have what you want. So there's 4 patterns you're going to face when you're going to make a decision. Number 1, you want to hold on to the past. Number 2, you want to put things off to the future. Number 3, you just want to think about it. And number 4, you want to dabble, and that's all you keep. And that's all you're keeping yourself safe in the past. That's all it is. It's just excuses. So here's how to do it. Write these down. Number 1, you must decide. You must decide right now to live an FYES life now. Number 2, you must create it with perfect completion, and then every day you must do a neuro-emotional embedding in your mind to start creating exactly what it is you want to create. Deciding the next milestone towards your goals. So here's how it works. We do this thing called lenses, and I'll explain it. We decide on your goal, your 90-day, your 30-day, your 1 week. We decide on the next milestone to move you towards your life. We then get you to see it in your mind's eye every single day, so that you can then emotionally embed it. We have 13 processes that disconnect you from your past and connect you into your future. And it's so crucial to go through this, as you must change beliefs, family entanglements, limiting emotions, unconscious desires, worthiness, conflicting parts, cognitive dissonance, all of that stuff. Guys, all of that stuff is what you wrote down before. All of that needs to shift. All of that needs to change. So many people think that they can't change. The truth is, you're not that special. You're not that special. And let me share a quick story. This is how a brain works. And now when you're having an aha moment, you're changing. The problem is, guys, there's this industry that says you can change in 2 days. You just can't. It takes 13 weeks of you getting called on your stuff, and you need to have a coach. That's just what it takes. It's not fast, it's slow. It takes 13 weeks. It doesn't matter where you are or how talented you are. It's whether you're willing to make it happen. It's whether you are willing to make it happen. So this is the real truth, and I really want you to get this before we shift into talking about the program. The truth is, in order to learn anything new, you need new neural pathways, and you have the ability to learn. The person that you think you are is just a learned identity. You simply just have to learn a new way of being. Who likes that, by the way? You simply just have to learn a new way of being right now. Who likes that? Write down an F yes if you really get that. You're creating something new. It's huge. And so the answer is, you've got to step into the future and let go of who you're being, and this is how we did it. So if it's okay, how many of you have enjoyed today, and give me a yes if you have, because I'm now going to take you through the program. So we have this program that's called the Magnetic Mind Masterclass. And what it does is it gets you into your magnetic moment, gets you where you want to be. Does anyone want to magnetically create their fuck yes life? I think I hear an F yes. So here's what you get. You get a full online university. This university, if you started today and you put in 4 hours a day, you keep going for a month, there's over 100 hours of stuff you can go through. Anyone wanting to magnetically create their future, they can go through it now. Plus, there's a 12-week program that takes you step by step from surviving through to thriving for anyone that magnetically wants to create it. Okay? So here's how we do it. The first thing I do is I sit you down and write out your mission, vision, values. I sit down with you, I understand your mission, we get your vision, and we craft your values. This is step 1. Write it down, mission, vision, values. That is the first thing I do with you, because until you're clear on what it is that you want, until you're clear on what you want, then you can never start moving towards it. Number 2, I ask you 6 unconscious unpacking questions. There's these 6 questions. I gave you a glimpse of them today. That helps you pull stuff out of your brain and bring it forward. Quick question. Through that little short exercise that we did, how many of you got to see something about yourself that you didn't know before? And you're like, oh wow, that's why I'm stopping myself. Write down a yes if that's you. Every week we want to keep pulling out what's stopping you, so then you can shift it and change it. Who saw something like that? Yeah? Number 3, we create internal leverage and we help you choose what you want. There are 11 change patterns and 3 core scripts that we go through. Then we have an emotional conditioning procedure that gets you into your new identity. Make sense? Cool. Quick question. Who likes the sound of this program already? Because I'm sure I can hear an F yes. So here is what you get. You also get weekly coaching. So you either have you have two choices. You can either do it in a group, that's with me and a bunch of people, and I take you through the process. It's 3 months, it's awesome. Or you go through one-on-one coaching with me, a highly certified coach, to make sure you get an FYES Life and I kick your butt every single week. So I'm going to open up and show you the program. So this is the full program, the Magnetic Mind Masterclass. It's how to shift your identity, pull in your future, and become a magnet for all you desire. I've only got a few spaces for a few people who want to live an FYES Life right now. So here's the problem. We have to shift your emotions. We have to shift your identity. We have to shift. I'm going to do it all by myself and not get support. We have to shift the fact that you're too busy, and we have to shift your support network. So here's what's in the Magnetic Mind program, and the program is absolutely awesome. Week 1, we get your macro, micro lenses out, your mission, vision, milestones. Week 2, we create your new identity and align your values with this. Week 3, we create internal emotional transmutation by starting to change your internal state. This is a huge week. Week 4, we do perceptual shift, how to change how you see the world and how the world changes when you actually see it. Week 5, we crush procrastination and create inner fire. This is where we really start to get you fired up at anything that's stopping you. Week 6, we get rid of any emotions that are keeping you stuck. Week 7, we dissolve all those inner conflicts and we do a white out process. Week 8, we go through the quantum change process. Week 9, we clear all your constraints. Week 10, the magic of metaphors and how these subtle changes can make all the difference. Week 11, family entanglements. And week 12, the matrix and the double bubble. And the double bubble is another process to shift and clear the last of anything out. So who is loving this so far? I think I can hear another F yes. This program is absolutely awesome, and here's what else is included. You're going to get the full training with everything included. There's either a one-on-one coaching choice or group choice. There's a full online university. There's weekly training with me for 90 days, and there's also weekly training with Chris Duncan on every week, and also Hannah Nees, and we jump on a call like this and we go deep and we do meditations, weekly and daily meditations. There are your daily, these here are your daily and weekly Magnetic Mind Core Training meditations. You do these every single day so that your mind and your vision is crystal clear and propels you forward. Starts your day right. You do need to start your day right, and clears anything and has you focused. You always need to start your day the right way. So who this works for? This works for action takers and anyone committed to changing their business and their life. So let me ask you, a question. And my question to you is this. Where could you be in 12 weeks' time if you had somebody going deep with daily meditations, a full reprogram system, and a call with me and Chris Duncan and Hannah Nees once a week, once you're in the Facebook groups? Where would you be if you did all of that? You'd be in a much better place. You would be a new you on your way to freedom. So who is going to get a call to talk more about this program and consider joining? Because if that's you, I would absolutely love that, and I will welcome you with open arms. So here's the link, and click on the link and fill in your name and your phone number if you want to talk more about this program, because this is the thing that makes everything else work. You can't purchase this just now. You can only fill in your name and your phone number, and then I will personally call you to talk more about this program. and about changing your life. Don't make decisions on who you've been, but make decisions on who you're becoming and step into this. I just want to finish by saying how much I care about you. And I want you here because I can see the potential in most people I talk to, especially who are attracted to a message like this. And the truth is, what I've discovered and found, if you want to create true success, it's about getting in it now. Taking the actions of your future self and aligning your emotions. And when you do it, holy moly, you will walk out of your old life and into your new one, and it will surprise you. It will surprise you. You won't even see it. You'll be so used to it. You won't even see it because you're so conditioned to it. You'll turn around and be like, I just made £5 million. Wow. So last chance. Here's the link. You can't buy it. You can get on a 10-minute call with me and I can talk you through the payment options. I'll talk you through how it works and we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. All right, guys, I love you so much. Have an amazing rest of your day and live an FYES life. And if you get nothing else, take this. Go live it now. Own it. Be it. Take massive action now. And if I get to serve you, it'll be a massive blessing. So thank you for spending time with me. And I hope you got a lot out of it. And I look forward to seeing your success and have an amazing rest of your day. And I'll talk to you soon.